not results. The results are going to be a byproduct of that progress, because it just seems to be how the best plans work. I just finished up a 5-mile run, and it was the first run of my program, and the first run as an amputee where I went out with the intent of challenging my pace a little bit. I've only been doing easy runs up to now, and man, what an incredible feeling I have inside from conquering that. And there wasn't no fear. Far from it. Definitely some butterflies. But man, it was the decision that fear didn't get to vote in the experience that I had is what makes this special. And I want it for you. I want it for everyone. And like, people just go out and find their version of that, and they go and take that progress for themselves. I don't care if it's just simply a 10-minute walk when you haven't done one in years. It feels good. And then there's just like this feeling of, yeah, I can do that. I can figure that out. It's just such a remarkably enabling feeling that just bleeds into your whole life. Chop wood, carry water.
All right, so welcome back to this next week. Yeah, so we're off and rolling. The first couple runs of this program have felt great. Training has felt good. Time management's been there. Recovery, I'm starting to feel, is boosting. Like, I feel like I'm recovering better already than I was last week and into this week. Getting ready to go get set up for my first of 2 longer runs this weekend. I've got a 5-mile coming up here when I get home, and then a 7-mile tomorrow. It is Saturday right now. So one thing that has happened, my plan is a little bit off for the day. This is why we have pace plans. So my primary plan was, I played a disc golf tournament this morning. That's what I'm driving home from right now. The plan was disc golf tournament, started at like 10 o'clock this morning. Go home, get some calories, go run, get some more calories in a shower, and I've got a fighter fighting tonight. My boy Cal is looking real good for this one. Pretty excited about that. And he's off a quick turnaround because he fought on the same card that I did in February. So literally just over a month ago. And so I thought that I wasn't going to have to be there as early as I'm going to. So I'm going to have to rush this a little bit. But a big part of like what this is, what I want to talk about is like preparation, you know. So I just didn't think that the part of the preparation we were going to be talking about was having to move to an alternate plan, which is what we're doing. Because like I said, I gotta be a little bit faster. I also left some of the calories that I brought with me to eat while I threw. I left it at home. Sucks. But so one of the biggest things as we get into these long runs, it's not just running. It is preparing and practicing other pieces of the puzzle. So I don't have all the equipment yet, but like when you get into these longer runs, so it's like testing out fuel sources during the race, how I want to eat before, little things like that. So like when I get home, I'm going to be putting down some electrolytes and some carbs in a supplement form. I'm going to eat some food while I'm drinking that as well. And then obviously got water to drink during. Nothing crazy that it's getting tested today. I know that for the 30K, I'm probably going to be doing the vest thing that most distance runners use. And part of that is like the belt's just probably not going to have the extra room for a few of the amputee specific items that it's going to be smart for me to carry with me. This run, 5 miles, not that big a deal. 7 would be nice, but it's just not going to be here in time. I ordered it a week ago and it just got shipped yesterday. I did get an insane deal on it, so that's cool. Because I feel like this is one of these things where people rarely end up loving the very first one they use. So we're just getting that all tested out. So like I said, go home, get calories, get running, get more calories, because the other piece of the puzzle is not just today's run, is I need to have fuel for today's run, but I also need to be fueling for tomorrow's run as well. Monday I won't have any running except my daily mile that I'm doing for this month. So that's what we're going on next. As soon as I get home, we'll be home. I'll go over the supplement that I'm using for right now, and we'll be off on that run. All right, so I'm getting my lunch ready to go. I'm keeping it really simple. I'm setting up the 2 supplements I'm going to use on this run. So G1M Sport from Bear Performance Nutrition. Like I said, if you notice, I got a bunch of supplements up here. This has happened since my wife got a job at a supplement store, and she's explored and tried a whole bunch of stuff. I use primarily Bear Performance with most of my stuff. It's my protein, it's my pre-workout, it's my creatine, that's my, again, and then this supplement's a lot more unique. There's not that many companies that do it. It is, 1 scoop is 20 grams of carbs. It's no sugar, and it's a full serving of their electrolyte profile. That's also one of the ones that I use pretty well every day. There it is. So I use this is what I use every morning. And to be honest, if you're going to use one supplement, I think it's electrolytes. If I'm being honest, it's electrolytes and or creatine, depending on what you're doing. So those are my 2 primary supplements I make sure that I always have on hand. And so like I said, so I've got the G1M Sport. Like I said, I'll knock this down. It's going to have, again, that's more simple carbs. Ideally, I'm drinking this about 30 minutes before the run. I don't think it's going to be quite that long, but that's fine. So we got that going. And then we've got the cardio pre-workout I talked about in the last one from my friend Mason's company, Move Your Body. This stuff is fantastic. It's really low dose of caffeine, but it's not so it's 90 milligrams. It's a couple grams of beta-alanine, a little green tea, and 1.5 grams of nootropics, which I'm not going to pretend like I understand all the different pieces of that one all the way, other than I will tell you that nootropic is also one of my favorite supplements to take. I use Alpha Brain from On It frequently. That's a big one. And now we can watch me fish around for the scooper, which has been found. There we go. It's always fun. This stuff, I loved it. I love that I don't notice it. I don't get after it on the pre-workouts the way a lot of people do. I use non-stem pre-workouts. This is my highest stem pre-workout. It's 90 milligrams of caffeine, and that's it. So like I said, I like that a lot. And the flavor is incredible. This is honestly one of the best tasting supplements I've ever used. So we're gonna knock down some food. We are going to knock down some supplements. Let's go ahead. Let's get ready for the run. Change the shoes, change the blade, and let's get rolling. Let's knock it out. Something about this city that I just love. Got no reason to, just do. Maybe the most exciting part of this process is getting to just run around and see it like this. Fuck yeah. Man, we are about a half mile out, holding a bigger pace today, the moderate run. So it's not light, it's supposed to be not all the way conversational. Man, every single one of these seems to be just a brick of confidence. I'm just gonna keep stacking these bricks, man. Oh, just feels good. Even though the run doesn't necessarily feel good, it feels good. Just gonna keep stacking. Chop wood, carry water. Monks don't retire. We're done. We are done. Man, that run was a game breaker. This is the first real distance I've run as an amputee that wasn't intended to just be low pace, this was a moderate run. It was, my coach told me, this isn't quite as casual. The pace should be, the heart rate should be up. The pace should be down. 5 miles, 46 minutes and 42 seconds. Managed a 9:20 pace for that whole thing. And man, I'll tell you what, kind of fall in love with this game. Just 1 mile that doesn't break me at a time, just stacking those bricks, building that proof. And man, this could be a lot harder than it is. I just so grateful for having that moment of courage to go ahead and say, fuck it, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do this thing you've never done. We're gonna do this thing that hurt you. This thing that took 10 years of your life away. Because I got hurt on a run. That led to my nerve damage. Man. That led to my nerve damage, and that led to what almost ended my life. And it's probably part of the runner's high, part of the fatigue and the dump. But man, fuck it. This is mine. We're gonna take it. We're gonna own this 30K, and we're gonna do some shit that's way fucking bigger. And man, again, like, grateful. Just grateful is about as, it's what I can come up with. So just got back on the, it's cooling down walk. Just got back to the house, gonna hit the cold tub and go out and coach my guy to go take another win, and see you tomorrow. Question. Something I was curious about. I'm gonna do a hat for my run. As I've gotten into running, I've been wanting to I've been leaning on some more running style hats, especially with all the hair going on and no plan to cut it anytime soon. So my question, if I can do a hat and other people want it, that's even cooler. Would you prefer more like this traditional camp style hat where it's all just kind of the same thing all the way through? Or a more traditional running style hat. It's got the same enclosure, but it tends to have meshy sides and maybe a little less rigid, structured bill. So if you got an opinion on that one, toss that in the comments. Definitely going to be doing a chop wood, carry water version, with the CW on it. So just curious. All right, so getting ready for today's 7 miler. Nothing crazy different in the preparation today compared to yesterday. Gonna hit the pre-workout again. I think at this point probably need my longer runs. Longer meaning it's kind of wild that now longer run means it's at least 5 miles. So that's kind of a cool little mindset shift and change that's already happened. But so we hit the pre-workout. We got the Scuba G1M. From BPN. Like I said, we're getting that rolling. The only real thing that's going to change today's going to be a longer duration run. One, it's 7 miles versus 5, but also the intended pace is not as high. So we're going to knock that out. Same pre-supplementation stuff. I'm about 40 minutes out, so my timing is going to be much better. I ate breakfast this morning. It's 10, almost 10:30. Plans to run at 11 with a friend. Got in a little bit late last night. I was coaching the fighters. My guy took a win. Calvin had a great fight. Tons of energy for that one there. So slept a little bit later, like 6:45, which is a crazy late for me. Got in a big breakfast. Few extra carbs again, knowing that what I have going on here. I added some potatoes with the eggs, and had a waffle, and had a banana, but that's all had plenty of time to digest.
The only other thing we're really adding to today is I'm going to try out one of these little gel packs with the longer one. Again, this isn't necessarily about necessity. It's more about learning how I respond, how I feel with them, and actually, again, I know it's going to sound goofy and it's going to sound like ad nauseum. There's a skill component to it. There's a skill of simply, it's the skill of actually consuming these things while moving, but it's also the skill of being aware of where you're at in the run. So 7-mile run today. My plan is right around the 4-mile mark is to put down that little packet. Should be nice and smooth again between having the carbs. One thing I will do with this one today, especially since I've already had a good amount of carbs, I don't feel drained or depleted. I was actually really surprised considering my circadian rhythm got pretty jacked up last night by not getting home until after 9 o'clock, which I'm usually going to bed somewhere between around 9:15, I would say, is 9:15 to 9:30 is when I'm going to bed. So being able to wind down and obviously getting to bed late, I feel pretty fine. My legs don't feel bad at all. I'm sure that the first mile or two I'm going to feel a little bit heavy, and then it'll be some waves. But like I said, I get to run with a friend today, so that helps. So I'm going to I would be putting some of this in my handheld as we go along. But from there, it's time to go.
You're an amputee and you're active, especially if you want to do anything in the endurance realm, longer duration, these Valor socks from Swiftwick that go underneath your liner have been an absolute life-saving, game-changing intervention in terms of like my whole system. I cannot recommend this enough. Get at them. All right, so 7-miler is done in the truck, cooling down. I get to go get groceries now. Fun. It's weird. It's like you do all this training and real life still has to happen. Yeah, so 7 miles, hour and 9 minutes and 30 seconds from when I stopped my watch. Continuous, no breaks, no walking. Average a 9:52 pace. Average heart rate around 150. I don't know if there's really anything else particularly exciting in terms of like metrics and all that to share. I don't think my watch will like give me like a lap breakdown, but I will include a lap breakdown just like I did on the other run. Because my watch doesn't display that, but it will on the app. Fuck, this was cool. That's a distance PR. And I don't even know that that's just an amputee distance PR. I don't ever remember going and running 7 miles. It was awesome. It was smooth. It was definitely faster than I planned on running it. I ran with my friend Sam. She is a very, very good runner. And it's good though. Like it pulled me along in a sense. Like I definitely would have been running closer to 10 and a half, 11 probably, just going casual. And the other thing I've learned is it takes me about somewhere around the 2.5 to 3.5 mile range. That's probably going to be my toughest range. I felt better on mile 6 than I did on mile 3, without question. That also makes 12 miles for the weekend. It's a great start. Plain and simple, it's a great start because I know I finished both runs knowing that if I had another mile, nothing really would have changed in terms of pace. Nutrition felt great. I knocked down that glucose gel. It wasn't even a gel. I've never had one like that. It was kind of like drinking Hawaiian Punch. I'm not sure that it wasn't. But yeah, felt good. So he said, so those are the 2 big runs. In terms of like for the rest of this episode, I got a couple of base runs. So just real low tempo stuff. And now the game's down regulation and recovery. So I've got a low body workout, lift tomorrow. I'll be squatting. So for the rest of the day, I'm going to go get groceries, again. I've got to do some programming for some of my remote clients. And then I need to do a little bit of food prep, which is going to basically mean making some burgers for lunch. And I'm going to do up some overnight oats for every day. That's going to be my calorie ad for the week. So my goal is to keep eating consistently like I am. And then adding a thing of overnight oats into my day. It's going to have some I'll show it. Why would I not be doing that? The whole point is to show this whole process. So we'll get into that when we get there. So, fuck yeah. Let's go get some groceries.
So I talked in the previous episode about how one of the challenges I've had is very much been adding food back in. I got used to trimming things back, getting on weight for my fight. Now I need to add. I got a higher caloric need, as well as a goal to get my weight back up in that 200-pound range. So I don't like the idea of trying to just add a ton of food all at once. Like, oh, let's just add 700 calories. It's a wildly unsustainable thing. It tends to last 1 to 2 days for most people. And this has come from me coaching and working with people for a very, very long time. So my ad this week is going to be one thing. And I'm a staunch believer in add one thing at a time. So my one thing this week is going to be adding overnight oats to a snack in between lunch and dinner every day. Or depending on how the day goes, it may be I end up eating it after dinner. That's fine. I do pretty well with my nutrition up to lunch. I get after lunch, and then I've got a tendency to not eat until dinner, just doing whatever it is that I'm going to be doing. So it's like I said, so this is what we're going to be adding. It's going to be real simple. I'm going to do about 50 grams of old-fashioned oats. I'm going to do about 120 grams of milk. This is also another thing that I try to do, and that I've done with this in the past, is I like the idea of, sneaking is probably the wrong word, but in my head, I feel like I'm like sneaking in some extra stuff. I throw something like chia seeds that has a lot of bang for your buck in terms of energy. There's not a lot of calories to it, although the fiber is very good. You definitely, the more food you add, the more you need to make sure you're staying on top of that. And I just do about a scoop. So I'm doing 50 grams of old-fashioned oats. A scoop of chia seeds is going to be about 8 grams. And then, like I said, I'm going to zero the scale out, go to 120 on the milk. I never know which order I want to do this in. I've tried it every which way, and nothing has presented itself. Like, do I want to do the milk first? Do I want to do the oats first? And just for a little bit of extra, I've just been tossing some blueberries in there, not a ton. And then when it comes time to eat it, I will actually I'll end up adding some honey for some sweetness. Not that I'm even got a big sweet tooth, it's just, you just want a little bit extra in these. But like I said, so real simple. I'm just going to prep up 4 more of these, shake them up, put a lid on them, then shake it up. That would have been the video. Toss them in the fridge, and honestly, these are usually good to go hours. You really don't even need a whole evening. These will be good to go later today, to be honest. So, gonna prep up a few more of these, and like I said, it's easy. That's the other thing I like about this strategy. Open the fridge, it's there. Honey, mix it up, spoon, go. There's no other preparation done, and like you saw how long that took. Almost no time.
All right, just finished an early morning workout. So it's Monday morning. These days I'm mostly going to be focusing on squatting, and then a few accessories. So I hit some Hatfield squats. I did some lunges and farmer carries, and then from there I finished up on the belt squat with some blood flow restriction, really get the legs fleshed out. Honestly, I didn't wake up as sore and heavy leg as I thought I was going to. So that's cool. I am definitely a more nervous system and like energy level tired than I am like sore or beat up. So that's a win as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, like I said, just really with the strength training, it's about getting, enough, especially early on as I'm kind of building this adaptation. I would rather underdo it by a little bit than overdo it by any amount, and just kind of keep building that up. But like I said, hit some squats, hit some lunges, carries, and some belt squat marching, and now it is time for some breakfast. I eat a little bit before I train, but I don't eat a ton. I eat a banana typically, and then I get some electrolytes in me, get hydrated, and we just go from there. So, go get some food. Pretty stoked on this one. Got a 4-mile easy run, so nothing crazy, but this is gonna be the first like trail run of the prep. You know, found an area 25 minutes away from where I live. It's got a lot of trail options. Today should be a pretty tame. It's just 2 miles out and back, so 2 miles out, 2 miles back. Give me my 4 miles. Get some time in nature. Test out my new trail shoes. Test out my gravel sole from Levitate. Way stoked on this. Let's hit this run. Man, I'm loving running the city, but it doesn't beat this. Finishing up on a hill. Nice strong finish. 4 miles done. 11:26 pace average, which probably means I ran this too fast. One note, if you are unfamiliar with trail running, trail paces and road paces do not match. They do not mean the same thing. And a lot of my easy runs have been coming around that 11-minute mark. And I think my coach said something about trail is usually you drop about 1.5 minutes off your pace for the same effort. So yeah, a little overshot that, but it's the first time I've been on a trail like that in a little bit. And I also didn't know this trail. When I looked it up, kind of sold it to be a little easier than it was. And that like it was a little more technical than I expected. Some really tight spots. Apparently I'm not gonna be able to, there we go, get this leg off. But really what whipped me was that elevation was way more than I thought it was gonna be. There was a lot more elevation. It was just all at once. So I ended up finishing the run on this huge hill, and it was either walk or just jog it up. And I wanted to work on, you know, just my gait and my stride, especially on my prosthetic, on that sort of a challenge, which I did do very well, but I definitely did not stay in my low heart rate zone like I was intending to on that portion of it. So that also bumped the average heart rate up, which I think my average heart rate was 145, and most of the elevated heart rate came, like I said, in that very last little bit. But yeah, like I said, it was really cool to get back on a trail. The run felt pretty good. In terms of like, I enjoyed it. I really like, again, I like being on trails. I like that view. I like what it looks like way more than the road. Yeah. So we got one more run on this episode. I got a 5-mile easy run. I'm probably going to try and do another trail. I'm going to find another one in this park. This park has got over a dozen different trails. So I'm going to find something that either is about 5 miles or is something that's somewhere between 2.5 to 3, and just run it twice and just go from there. So that's the run. Get home, cold tub, calories, break. We're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up now, after that base run. And then we will be picking it up, obviously, on this next run, which I'm actually about to go do. So only real notes here is that the big point of this episode was simply like, we're off to a good start. You know, we are simply getting started. We are simply laying the base, and now it's a big rinse and repeat. You know, it's why I'm so big on this chop wood, carry water thing and repeat. It's these little things you have to keep doing and keep doing and keep doing. And so that's really the big piece and big takeaway from this week is we've simply started swinging the axe on this. So until next time, thanks for coming. Subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends. And as always, if you've got anything you'd like me to cover with this prep, please toss it in the comments. I have so many things that I'm going to be working on and learning. I'd love to know what you're interested in me sharing. Thanks again.